Good evening and welcome, everyone. It's been a little bit since I joined you guys, so I figured let's start 2026 with just a short little video tonight. So, as we dive in, for those who've joined me before, I just like to banter about what I'm dealing with in my day job, what I'm consulting with, and also what I'm dealing with in my mentorships. For those who don't know, I'm Fletus. I'm a 20-year vet in the IT security field. I've done a little bit of everything inside of IT and cyber defense. I currently serve as the Director of Security Architecture and System Architecture for a manufacturing firm based in South Carolina. As you can see, I'm wearing a Sands pullover tonight, not endorsed by Sands, just it's a cool day here in North Carolina. What I'd like to do for the next 10, maybe 15 minutes is just go over what's going on today and a little bit of update about what I'm doing and how I'm trying to give back to the community. For those who joined earlier, I'm still an adjunct for Appalachian State teaching an AI business systems and cybersecurity class. We're in week two. The students are diving into AI agents this week and will be tackling their first chatbot next week. But what's important is not just AI, but how do we handle an incident? So, what I'd like to share with you is an article or a couple articles that I had published with the Black Hills Information Security and their recent prompt number. So let's hop over there now. So, my first article is your first hour inside of incident response. It's a true positive. So, now what do we do? If you don't have an incident response playbook, this is the time to build one. As the best time was yesterday, but there's no time like the present. So, let's dive into what that actually means. So, in your first 15 minutes, once you determine that it's a true positive, you want to jump directly into investigation mode. Probably not the best idea. You need to resist that urge, as you can see in my first comment. You need to follow the actions that's inside of your incident response plan. Your first is you want to make sure you preserve your evidence. Before you click any button, run any query, you want to make sure you document the current state of your environment. Take screenshots of the original alert to allow you to have the full context. Capture any system timestamps. Note what time zone in which you're capturing. Record which detection rule or signature fired inside of your environment. And then note your analysis tools and queries used for confirmation. Next, you want to make sure you preserve any volatile data. If you're dealing with endpoint alerts, consider memory capture before the system state changes. Document any running processes, network connections, and logged on users. Make sure you save the original log entries before anyone accidentally overwrites any of your evidence while you're investigating. Next, you want to establish an incident response tracking. Without delay, create your first incident ticket with the critical information, such as the incident ID, your classification, any affected assets, as well as the discovery time. And then include your name, the person who's doing the analysis. A tip for you, you need that incident number for all of your communications and any actions you're planning to take. Next, you want to perform a quick impact analysis. Spend 5-10 minutes answering the questions below that I've shared in this article. Is this affecting a critical business system, aka your crown jewels? Could the adversary get lateral movement? Is there any sensitive data that's at risk? Your PII, PHI, GDPR, CPAA, or any other privacy based data? Are customers or operations at impact right now? What are you going to do? Now you're 15 minutes in. Let's spend the next 45 minutes doing your assessment and making sure you have proper documentation. Your goal is to build a complete picture while documenting everything for your team members who join your incident response. So, what does that look like? That relies on you doing a comprehensive analysis of what's going on. So, you want to look for any relevant alerts in the same time frame, plus or minus 2 hours. You want to look for any indicators across multiple data points, your SIM, your EDR, any network monitoring that you have in place. And then you want to identify attack timeline. What was the initial access? Is there persistence? Do you have lateral movement? And then what is the impact to your organization? Document any key findings. What was the initial vector? What are the affected systems? What user accounts were involved? Is there any network activity associated with this? And what is the potential impact that the attacker could have with their current access level? As you can see in the bottom right, I have a communication and escalation. Who needs to immediately be notified? Always notify your direct supervisor or the on-call manager. Let your other SOC analysts know that you investigate this. If you have a network ops center, your NOC, let them know as well. Once you've determined this, escalate to your security leadership if multiple systems are compromised or critical business systems are affected. If there's an ongoing or believe data exfil happening. Additionally, if you notice privileged accounts have been compromised, and then if it's tied to a specific advanced threat actor or APT. Next, you may want to let your executive team know if it's revolving customer data or if it's going to impact your business operations. As well, if there's any potential regulatory requirements associated with this IR event. Lastly, you're going to get your PR, your public relations, or comms team involved if something has been leaked or you think it will be leaked, making your company show up in the Wall Street Journal or the local or national news. You need to engage your legal and compliance team if there is PII or PHI involved. They need to be involved in any breach notifications. They also need to be involved if you're planning or need to engage with local or national law enforcement or agencies. Make sure that they help you understand the regulatory requirements of notifying if and when there's requirements related to breach notification. So the ongoing and updates. Make sure you have stand-ups and reoccurring meetings. Notify them what was happened in the previous 24 hours. Let them know what you're planning to do in the next 24 hours. Always document any known IOCs or indicators of compromise, any affected systems, as well as any new discoveries. Make sure that you collect and maintain your evidence properly in case it needs to go to court. You want to make sure that you understand and have chain of custody in the event that litigation happens. Maintain chain of custody. That means logging, capturing. This is the analyst's name, this is their IP, this is the MAC address in which they interacted with the data. Use standard naming conventions. Don't get cute and use animal names, Star Wars characters, Avatar characters, Pokemon. Make sure you use standard naming conventions. Store your evidence in a secure and access controlled location. It doesn't need to be sitting on your desktop. It doesn't need to be in a public SharePoint or a NAS drive. It needs to be in a secure, protected location that you can protect the chain of custody and integrity of the evidence that you've collected. Make sure you know who and when any of this is accessed, as it may be important during litigation. As you move into the recovery stage, make sure you understand what is your RTO and RPO. What does your system restoration look like? What assets need to be restored and when? What is the business requirements and process during restoration? as well as what new monitoring do you need to add or enhance as you're rolling out the restoration period to help prevent and protect against future reoccurrences. Your senior leadership and security leadership needs to be involved. They need to be updated regularly. Your security leadership daily, your executives within the next 24 to 48 hours. And you want to make sure your business units understand the impact of the investigation, as well as legal and compliance. Make sure that you have set up a dedicated incident response or incident management platform. Know what you're going to do prior to the event, not during the event. Understand what forensics tools your team has access to, or when you're going to need to activate your retainer for forensic services. Understand the templates and document what you're going to use for communications, both internal to security, IT, leadership, the business, and externally if you need to go to the media and or your customers. Make sure these templates have been vetted prior to an event. You don't want to have to scramble during the event to make sure that the verbiage is correct and protected under client privilege. Train your teams, do tabletops, do exercises to make sure they understand how to classify data, how to preserve any evidence that it's not tampered or you lose the non reputability. Make sure that they understand who to notify, when to notify, and how to notify them. Is that a call through Zoom or Teams? Is that a Slack message, team message? Not advised. Is it an email? Is it a Discord? Is it a Signal? What are you using for incident response and incident management across your IT team, your security team, the business, your leadership, and even your board of advisors if you're a publicly traded company? Make sure you have regular hands on training to investigate. I mentioned in the article, maybe use Deep Blue CLI for your investigation. And as you can see in the middle top of my page, my final thoughts here is the actions you take in this critical first hour determine whether this becomes a contained incident or a business threatening breach. Your marketing team understands your brand cost. Your public relations understands what your customers think. Your business understands what your business wants to know, needs to know, and how they need to know. Make sure that you understand how you plan and should communicate and what timelines. Always make sure that you protect your investigations. As you can see, preserve first, investigate second. Communicate as soon as possible and as often as possible. Document everything for your future self as well as your legal team. Contain quickly but thoroughly. Rush containment can destroy evidence, thus causing business disruption. So practice and understand what containment looks like for an SVP, for the marketing team, for the R&D team, or for an intern inside of your environment. Measure your success by these four things: the time to containment, communication effectiveness, which is important, the evidence quality, as well as any learning opportunities and integrations. Your organization is counting on you to get this right. With a reliable process and a systematic approach, you'll be ready when, not if, the next alert turns out to be the real deal. So, to wrap up the article into this discussion, review your current true positive workflow. Do your SOC analyst know how and what to do within the first 15 minutes? Test your your escalation procedures. Do they understand their standard operating procedures? Do they understand the workflow behind how to communicate, when to communicate, how to communicate? Next, have your level three or your team lead audit your investigation tools. Do they have the capabilities to capture and investigate modern threats effectively. That's the key word, effectively. You do not want to waste time scrambling because your SIM, your SOAR, your investigation tools are not properly deployed, configured, or even on the right locations. Do you have visibility in your corporate, IoT, OT, or even your cloud environments? Train your teams on the tools they were going to use. I mentioned Deep Blue. If not, if you're not a Windows, look for what Mac and Linux tools you can use. Read up on NIST SP 861, which is the Computer Security Incident Handling Guide, specifically in sections 3.4. Look at the CERT Resiliency Engineering Framework. And first, if not most importantly, look at your organization's legal requirements. Know what document standards apply to your industry. They're going to be different depending on if you're in healthcare, finance, manufacturing, or even you're in a market that's not publicly traded. Does your team understand how to use PowerShell, Bash, Python correctly? Do they understand how to look at the events that are happening inside of Windows Log correctly? It's important that you train your team before the incident instead of after. So, my challenge to you now: schedule weekly, bi weekly, monthly adversary simulations or quick tabletops with your SOC, maybe even Friday mornings. Give them a scenario. We had a data exfiltration. What do we do? We had a drive by attack. We had a Trojanized PDF. We have a business email compromise. What steps do we follow? Do we have playbooks, runbooks, SOPs? If not, create them now. It's easier to build them when the storm is calm than when your team is in the middle of crashing waves in a thunderstorm known as an event. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm glad to hop back in. It's been a privilege to jump back in. It's been a little bit. I appreciate you guys taking time. It's been a little bit, as I said. I'm thankful for this community. I'm thankful that I'm able to share my knowledge with you as cheaply and freely as possible, as others have done with me. So, as a constant reminder, find a mentor, be a mentor, and make sure that you're giving back to this community. You never know when the person you're working with today will either work for you, with you, or against you in the future. It's important to maintain relationships. So until next time, stay safe and stay secure, everyone.